order. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Coyne.
Here.
Hilberg.
Here.
Colasar.
Here.
Lamb. Rose.
Here.
Shields.
Here.
Simpson.
Reading of the minutes.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
I move that the minutes of the April 22nd, 2013 regular meeting as prepared and submitted by the clerk be approved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coyne.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Reports of standing committees. For the Finance Committee, we're at prior to council this evening, and we have a next meeting scheduled in 2 weeks. Health, Safety, and Sanitation Committee.
Thank you, Mr.
Rose.
President. No meetings held, and I am working with Jim Bigham to have him bring his presentation on the ALICE program to a future Health and Safety Sanitation Committee meeting between now and September.
Thank you. Public Properties Committee, Mr. Shields.
Thank you, Mr. President. No meeting scheduled. No report this evening.
Special Legislation Committee, Mr. Lamb, he's absent. I don't think we have anything that's being scheduled. Streets and Sidewalks Committee, Mr. Simpson, he's also absent. I don't think there's anything scheduled. Water and Utilities Committee, Mr. Colzar.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have no meeting scheduled in the future. We did discuss the utility rate review recommendation in finance this evening, and probably see that come to the floor at our next council meeting. And that's all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you. Request for council action and discussion. For the Finance Committee, we have several items. 1390, expenditure over $15,000 for purchase of jet fuel. 1391, budget amendments. 1392, agreement with Masonic Temple, removal of guardrail. 1393, amending ordinance 5513, police SUV purchase. 1394, memo of understanding with the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railroad West Smith Crossing. 1395, bids Lafayette and Ryan Road intersection. 1396, sanitary sewer easement, Huntington Apartments, Ray Mellert splash pad. 1397, downtown strategic plan, and 1398, community development department staffing. Reports of municipal officers. Mayor Hanwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder, the Everbridge alert system, the city, as well as the other 2 cities in the county of Medina and most of the townships have adopted this alert system throughout the county, and residents can sign up for just the alerts they're interested in by going to the city website, www.medinaoh.org, and there's a link to go directly to it. The National Day of Prayer events were held on May 2nd and went very well, were very well attended. The Day of Serving, which was called Love Medina, on May 4th, went well. I just wanted to thank the local pastors, in particular Tony Miles, for organizing this from the Connection Church. And I know they went out and did numerous projects throughout the city for residents that had some needs. And I've heard from a number of the residents they were very thankful and appreciative of what was done for them. There are 2 different ways that residents can pay for without coming in for their utility bills. One is the ACH, or automated clearinghouse. Customers can sign up for automated payment from their bank account to avoid late fees and mail charges. The application forms are available here at the finance window. There's also online bill paying where customers can pay by credit card, and sign up is on the city website, again on the main page that I just referred to earlier. And then last but not least, I had a meeting today with representatives from the school, and they're working on a new public art initiative to celebrate Medina pride and promoting the community area businesses and encourage people to the downtown district. The City School District, the City School Foundation, the City of Medina, and Main Street are all promoting this along with area businesses and organizations. What it is bees, if you will, 5 foot tall by 3 foot wide by 40 inches deep. Bee sculptures that then the businesses can determine the decoration or the painting of it, with their own colors representing their individual business. Sponsors are being solicited. They need a minimum of 20 bees to be ordered. So far, they have 14. So there are some remaining, and they'll be on display from July until October. They sponsor the bees for $1,200, and then if they want to purchase the bee and keep it, it's an additional $1,000. They have the first right of purchase. The bees will then be rented out, if you will, the following year to raise money for the school foundation. They're also looking for artists that want to help them design the bees for the individual businesses in town, and individual persons either to purchase the bees or to be an artist for the bees can contact either Jean Hurt or Amy Busby at the Medina City Schools. Jean's phone number is 330-636-3112, and Amy's is 330-636-3030. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durham, Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple things. Wanted to report, I just sent to council today, we received our income tax for May. Our collections this year, January through May, are 1.5% above what they were for 2012. People ask about that a lot. That's a rough gauge of the economy. Secondly, tomorrow I'm chair of the committee for the Ohio Government Finance Officers Association, hosting a seminar here in Medina at Williams on the Lake. We're going to have more than 40 people from around the state in. It's a seminar on federal grants. By hosting it, first of all, I get to go for free, so it saves the city a little bit of money because I'm a host, and also the travel costs, because we do have a couple other people from the city, are lower, and it's for schools and cities treasurers.
Thank you. Mr. Huber, Law Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Chief Baraducci, please, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Thank you. Chief Painter, Fire Chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report tonight.
Well, we're on a roll here. Mr. Hannon, Planning and Community Development Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a brief report. I just want to note that we are having a special session of the Historic Preservation Board tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. at City Hall to discuss signage proposed for Medina Fantastic Toys. And also on behalf of the Economic Development Department, the City, Main Street Medina, and the Medina Chamber are hosting the ribbon cutting for Second Soul Shoe and Apparel Store at 122 Public Square this Thursday, May 16th at 11 o'clock in the morning. There will be discounts on purchases, and 620 Construction did a very nice job on the renovation of the building. Second Soul is a great retailer, and they've done a nice job on their investment as well, and encourage you to come take a look. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, Recreation Center Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple updates. The Medina Rec is currently running a 25% discount off our summer rates. The resident rate for a youth, college, adult, senior is only $66, and resident family of 5 is $175. This is for a 3-month consecutive summer membership between May and September. So if you pick like May, June, July, August, or July, August, and September, that's the consecutive months. We will also be running a sale on a 10-visit pass for $40 in June, July, and August. And lastly, a reminder that the rec summer hours start Memorial Day to Labor Day, Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then Sunday hours stay the same from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vogel, Building Official.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I would like to speak to construction tradesmen who have at least 3 years of experience in their field. I want to encourage these individuals to begin the process for their state certification in building, electrical, mechanical, and plumbing inspection. The process is relatively simple. Contact my office for assistance or the Ohio Board of Building Standards directly. Fill out an application provided by the board and list your construction experience and time spent working at each job. If the board accepts your history of experience, an interim certification is granted. You then have 2 years to pass tests related to your inspector certification. Of course, it is beneficial to obtain multiple certifications if you qualify. Lastly, you will have to attend a 3-day Code Academy in Columbus for final certification. Again, tradespeople with the required experience are only a few steps away from becoming certified building inspectors. The City of Medina, as well as the State of Ohio, needs your knowledge and experience to keep buildings safe. Please consider taking this next step in your career. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Patton, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. An update, as most people know, we commenced our West Smith Road reconstruction project here in the last couple of weeks. The maintenance and traffic plan is in place, which requires one lane of traffic heading westbound only between State Road and Lake Road. I'm going to say for the first week or so of construction, we appreciate all the cooperation we've received from everybody in the corridor and the traveling public. I did want to notify everyone that come mid-June, the railroad will be replacing the double crossing that's located within the project area. Now, that work will take about a week, but during that time, no vehicles can cross that area. As such, our maintenance and traffic plan will have to change for that week. We will be notifying everybody in the corridor as well as local media prior to that time with more specific information once we determine the exact dates. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Swanson, Parks and Recreation Director.
Mr. President, thank you. Just a quick update. Our parks are open and receiving heavy daily use, as well as the weekend this time of the year, not only because of youth sports like baseball, soccer, and flag football, but also because of our walking trails. One walking trail I want to mention to the public is the Champion Creek Paved Multi-Purpose Trail that was under construction last year. It's now open to the public. A parking lot will be added at the trailhead at 406 South Broadway beginning next week. We expect that to be completed in the following weeks. The parking lot will accommodate 11 vehicles, and I just want to let council know a portion will be made from pervious concrete, which allows rainwater to permeate through the hardscape and into the earth. This provides an overall benefit to our stormwater management system. So come check out our new trail. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Piccoli, Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to take a minute and acknowledge the Courtney Lawrence Post 202 American Legion and Mr. Ralph Waite. I spoke to Mr. Waite for a while regarding their generosity in supplying the city and the community with American flags for the Uptown Park Square area every year. The American Legion has been donating the flags for close to 20 years prior to the Memorial Day celebration, which is up and coming. Additionally, the Water Department has started the hydrant flushing for 2013 in May. I won't read all the streets, but we're in the industrial area this week, starting May 13th, today, 2013. Blanet, Fair Road, Heritage Drive, Independence Drive, Lafayette. There will be signage with respect to the areas that will be flushed. Thank you.
Thank you. Notices, communications, petitions. There are none. Unfinished business. None. Introduction of visitors. Members of the public will be permitted the opportunity to speak on any issue or concern which pertains to the city during the portion of the council agenda devoted to introduction of visitors. All comments shall be directed to the chair, and a reasonable time limit of approximately 5 minutes will be imposed. If there is a group, please appoint a spokesperson. Speakers should approach the front right microphone and state their name and address so it can be entered into the minutes. Members of the public will be afforded the opportunity to comment on other portions of the meeting as determined by the chair or by a vote of the majority of council members present. Is there anybody that wishes to address council? Nobody. Okay. Introduction and consideration of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 80-13, an ordinance authorizing forfeiture of real property located at 244 Medina Street, known as permanent parcel number 028-19A-20-040 to the city of Medina.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. President.
Mr. Shields?
Emergency clause requested. I move to add it at this time.
Second, adding the emergency clause.
Any discussion on the emergency clause and or the ordinance? Mr. Hannan, can you shed light on this?
Thank you, Mr. President. This site is a vacant abandoned property that the city would be requiring through the land realization program. We plan to target the demolition dollars from the state of Ohio, which are being administered by the county for the demolition of the property. And the emergency clause is being asked as the timing is quite quick. Once it's gone through 2 sheriff sales with no bids, we just get a 10-day notice from the county regarding our interest in the property.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Will the clerk please call the roll on the emergency clause?
Hilberg,
Yes.
Colasar,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Any further discussion on the ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Ordinance 80-13 passes 5-0.
Ordinance 81-13, an ordinance amending section 133.01 of the codified ordinances of the City of Medina, Ohio, relative to association memberships.
Move to approve.
Discussion. Mr. Hannan.
Yes, the city keeps an approved and adopted list of agencies and associations which we are members of. And this is just to update the existing list to clearly describe the current naming of the American Planning Association. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, he second. Didn't.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
John cut me off, but yes, I did.
Okay. Sorry about that if I did.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, thanks, Mr. Hannan. Is there any further discussion or comment on the ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Ordinance 81-13 passes 5-0.
Ordinance 82-13, an ordinance amending ordinance number 67-11 passed May 23, 2011, relative to the contract with Ray & Associates for the preparation of the gap conversion reports for the City of Medina, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. As long as I've been finance director, we've always tried to conglomerate our bond issues so that we do a minimal number. So it seems kind of unusual that we're talking about this cost because it's an issue we did in 2012, and then the next two ordinances are for an issue that we're going to do here in 2013. Want to explain the reason for that is we were not able to anticipate this 2013 issue at the time, because what allows us to do this issue in 2013 is the Build America bonds are not being refunded by the federal government as planned due to the sequester. That condition didn't exist in 2012. If it had, we would have put all these issues into one, because whenever you do a bond issue, there are costs. There's issuance costs, and then there's it's more costly for your audit, it's more costly for your conversion, those kinds of things, and we like to keep those all together. We weren't able to because of the situation.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Ordinance 82-13 passes 5-0.
Ordinance 83-13, an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $14,865,000 of bonds of the City of Medina to refund certain portions of the city's outstanding bonds, authorizing related matters in connection therewith.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields.
emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it this time.
Second, adding an emergency clause.
Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the issue that I spoke about earlier. These are the Build America bonds that we issued a couple of years ago. At the time, the feds had a program where instead of issuing tax-exempt debt, which we normally do, you could issue these Build America bonds, and they're taxable bonds, but the federal government pays a portion of the interest. The federal government, as part of that agreement that they made, owes us $130,000 on June 1st. We have been hearing that we wouldn't get all of it, and then today we actually received notice, at least I think it's notice, but we sent it to bond counsel for a formal opinion, but we did receive a notice from the IRS that said that they're not going to pay us the entire amount. They're going to pay us 8.7% less than the $130,000 due to the federal budget sequester issue. It's actually a good thing for us. It's going to cost us about $8,000 on June 1st, but it's a good thing for us because it authorizes us, due to the terms of the bonds that we issued, those bonds have a clause that if the federal government does not make the entire reimbursement, then we're authorized to refinance the bonds at par value. We can call the bonds and do that. Interest rates have gone down since then. We, as you know, enjoy an elite credit rating as a city. We're AA1. With current rates in the market and our credit rating, it's a good time to go out and refinance them and get lower rates. This will save us in excess of $800,000 pending interest rate changes day to day between now and when we do the issue over the course of the 18 years that's left on this.
Thank you. I think that's a good, I guess not a good move for the federal government, for the city, a good opportunity to take advantage of to save $800,000 over the term of the remaining term of the bonds. I think we've refinanced a few times, and we saved a tremendous amount of money that could be used for other projects in the city, and also to enable the residents to realize the savings that we've had with the advent of these new projects. So I thank you for your efforts in this, and look forward to locking a rate that's lower than it is today. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the emergency clause.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Any further discussion on the ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Ordinance 83-13 passes 5-0.
Ordinance 84-13, ordinance authorizing the expenditure of up to $15,000 to Moody's Investor Services for a credit analysis for the city of Medina, Ohio.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Mr. Shields?
emergency clause has been requested. I move to add it at this time.
Second, adding the emergency clause.
Mr. Durham?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is in relation to the bond issue that we just spoke about. This is what it costs to have Moody's come in and do a credit analysis of the particular issue before we can sell it to investors. The only thing I wanted to add to the last issue, the figure that I quoted that we should save $800,000, that's present value. The actual cash savings is more than that over the whole term. The present value is expected to be $800,000.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion or comment? Will the clerk please call the roll on the emergency clause?
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Any further discussion on the ordinance? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Ordinance 84-13 passes 5-0.
Ordinance 85-13, an ordinance amending ordinance number 213-12 passed December 10th, 2012. Amendments to the 2013 budget.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Durham?
Thank you, Mr. President. There's a number of transfers here. I don't suppose you want explanations of those. The two things that are new appropriations are, one of them is to reimburse estate tax that was paid to us by Cuyahoga County when Ohio still had an estate tax that was shared with the local entities. We have to repay it. What happens is the people have to file the estate tax within the 6 months of the date that the person passed, and then if they overpay it when they file the final, they get a refund. This is the refund. We have to repay it. The other new appropriation here is for jet fuel. As you know, we're going to be selling jet fuel at the airport, and we need to buy that jet fuel in order to sell it.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll on the ordinance?
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Hilberg.
Yes.
Colasar.
Yes.
Ordinance 85-13 passes 5-0.
Council comments.
Mr. President.
Mr. Colzar.
I just want to take a moment to thank volunteers that came out for the April 27th Earth Day cleanup at Sycamore Park. Didn't have a big turnout, but it wasn't a big park, but we got the job done. We are doing it in phases. We got all the garbage out of the park and out of the creek that runs through there. Next step is come back in and get some of the cut wood that maybe some of the property owners around there disposed of in the park incorrectly, and Tim Swanson, who did come out and help with the park cleanup and supply a dump truck to haul the trash out of there, the bags and the gloves, and the labor. So I appreciate you, Tim, coming out. Greg Huber, our law director, is out. Keith Durham came out as well, and our Councilman Paul Rose. It's amazing how much difference you can make just in the neighborhoods, coming out, spending 2 hours of your time. We actually got done early. To come out and just to try to clean up. And when I'm pulling away there to go dump that trash, it's amazing that even a park that small has that amount of trash in it. And some of us should be ashamed of ourselves that we allow our parks to get to that point. But I just want to say thank you to everybody. And also, our next council meeting is the day after Memorial Day. Make sure you go out there and should every day when you can, but go out there and thank a veteran and thank anybody that took part into protecting our country. And it means a lot as a Army brat, but a father, grandfather, and so on that spent time in the military. But just make sure you put your flags out and be grateful for those who've passed in fighting for our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further council comments? Hearing none, meeting's adjourned.